What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Campbell and we're back with another video. Now, first and foremost, if this is your first time on my channel, I just want you to do me a quick, simple favor. Please hit that subscribe button as well as turn on that notification bell, that way you're notified anytime that I drop some content. And while you're at it, please leave a like down below. It helps the algorithm, it helps my channel continue to grow, and pushes my content out for the more and more people. And if this isn't your first time on my channel, I just want to say welcome back to the trenches. It's your boy Demetrius reporting live, and I got some great content for y'all today. Now, this is another reminder to turn on those notifications. That way you get notified anytime I drop a video. Look, we got another video, another upload that y'all was not expecting. And if you didn't have on notifications, you're either one, late to this video, or two, you might miss it altogether. You turning on that notification not only helps me, but it helps you. Also, it doesn't cost you a thing to show some support. Anytime that you all leave a like, a comment, or subscribe to my channel, it costs you nothing, and I gain and I benefit so much from it. So again, I appreciate y'all greatly. I thank y'all, and now let's get into the video. So today, our video was inspired by Reddit. I know my young boys on there thinking like, ooh, Reddit. Nah, we ain't on Reddit looking for no free OnlyFans content and no OnlyFans leaks, you know what I'm saying? If you know, you know. Today, actually, I combed through Reddit looking for some of the worst financial advice people on this site have received, and you'd be surprised at some of the responses and the answers I received. Now, this is mind-blowing to me that some people receive some of this information, some of this advice, and that some people actually even took it. Today, we're just gonna look through some of the worst financial advice. We're gonna see if we can relate to some of this stuff, if any of it. And also, we're gonna talk about what we can do moving forward to avoid being in situations like this where we're not getting such terrible financial advice. So, a Reddit user by the name of Differentiated Pans said that some of the worst financial advice they received was, let's go to the casino and let's double your paycheck. Bro, what? Now, y'all know me, before we even get into this, I am not a proponent to gambling whatsoever, so I would never recommend anybody to gamble. Let alone, why are you going to gamble with your entire paycheck? How do you say idiot without actually saying idiot? Now, generally speaking, casinos are usually stacked in the favor of the actual casino. Their main objective is to always continue to gain and win money and to never lose. So therefore, you're already playing at an unfair advantage because they're built to win. Now, obviously, that's not saying that they can't lose, because we see it all the time. People do win big at casinos, but it's more often than not that people go to casinos and they usually lose. So, in my opinion, if you want to go gamble, if you enjoy it, if you have fun gambling, you know, hey, by all means, be my guest. But I just wouldn't recommend gambling with your entire paycheck. So next, we got a Reddit user by the name of Champagne of Beers. Champagne of Beers. Somebody close to them turned down a promotion in order to stay in a lower tax bracket. Well, I can tell who doesn't watch my videos, because that's some of the worst advice I've ever heard. And if you even contemplate taking this advice, you know, you're an idiot. Obviously, in the US, we understand that the more money you make, the more money you're taxed. I've been on record to saying that 2021 was the best year I've ever had financially, but it's also, I've paid the most taxes that I've ever paid also. But it comes at a price. Obviously, the more money you make, the more money you're gonna ultimately spend as well. So let's say, for example, you're single and you're making about $40,000 a year. You're very close to the top of your bracket, which ultimately caps out at $40,125. Hypothetically speaking, let's say you get a raise to about $42,000 a year. You'll still be taxed in the same bracket and which you would have been making at $40,125. Only what you make above that lower tier will actually be taxed. So the bottom line is, you shouldn't be worried about taxes when taking a raise. At the end of the day, you're still making more money and you're still going to be in a more comfortable financial position. Do not allow taxes to sway your decision in terms of making a decision such as turning down a promotion. Next, a Reddit user by the name of Deathstroke9. Bro, I must be getting old, bro, because some of these names are weird. He said someone told him to take out a student loan. It'll be easy to pay off once you get your degree. It don't take a rocket science, nor does it take a college graduate to understand that this is so cap. I'm a person with 4 degrees, and I can tell you easily myself that getting a degree does not automatically just qualify you for a job or a high-paying position, and it will not make paying back loans any easier. Majority of people actually who get degrees don't even go on to work in that field after leaving college. Now, this isn't to say or discourage anybody from going to college, because I myself went to college for almost 8 years, so I'm a person who believes in the education system, and I believe that me getting that education has changed my life. So I'm not going to say it's not worth it, because I definitely think it's worth it. But to simply say that, okay, don't worry about student loans, you know, hey, it's going to be easy to pay off. No, all I'm simply saying is get student loans if necessary, but also understand that you're gonna have to pay them back and it may not be easy, but don't allow that to discourage you from getting a degree. Next, a Reddit user by the name of Summertime Cinnamon said that somebody recommended to her to not negotiate a salary, but to simply just to accept whatever she was offered. Now, I understand being excited about a job offer and just wanting to be able to jump on it and accept it right away. I get it. We've all been there before. But negotiating a salary should never come at the backseat of that. Negotiating a salary should always be at the top of the priority list. What you've got to understand is as bad as you want that job, you just want to hurry up and just jump on it and accept that offer, they need you almost just as bad as you need them. So you may need the position for financial reasons or in order to advance and better yourself in your career field, but they need you to fill a position as well. So it's a mutual interest and you both want the same things. You both want it to work. They're not offering you this position because they got nothing else better to do. They're offering you this position because you're a qualified candidate and they want you to work with them or for them. So understand that you have to use that to your leverage and say, you know what, hey man, we work hard. On this channel, I will never tell y'all to settle for being broke or to taking less or accepting anything less than what you deserve. Get what you deserve. At the worst case scenario, negotiations may fall through and you two may not be able to get on the same page. Then you can make that personal decision and say, you know what, hey, I'll just accept what they were offering, or I can make it work, or I'll go in a separate direction. But don't take that option off the table before even knowing what could be a possibility. All businesses are the same. They are designed to keep money, to not spend it. So they have money available to give to you, but if you don't ask for it, you shall not receive. Now, the Reddit user by the name of T-Babies was recommended that if you can't afford something, just go ahead and rent it out and make payments on it. And you'll deal with the consequences and everything else paying it off later. Now, this is some terrible advice. I know quite a few people like this who will go buy clothes, shoes, people will go buy furniture, whatever, and they simply just make payments on it and rent it out. I understand when you're moving and you're looking to furnish a new place with like a bed, TV, sofas, things like that. That I definitely understand. I recently just moved a few months ago. I get that part of it. But you also have to understand that rental fees and everything else accrued with that, you're gonna spend way more money in the long run than you would have just up front. That's not to say that if you're in a financial position where you can't necessarily get everything you need up front, then yes, if you need a bed, you need certain things. So I wouldn't tell you to not do those things. I'm simply saying that if you're going to rent things out, you have to be very mindful and very aware of what you're paying for and understand what you're doing. Also understand that there's nothing wrong with exploring other options as well as trying to buy things maybe used, secondhand, or just from cheaper options. Again, it depends on who you are, what situation you're in, but I don't ever think that renting or installment plans or loans and things like that should ever be just like a first-hand thought. I think those things should be a last resort option. But if you can't afford it, it's okay. We talked about that before in one of my previous videos, making payments and things, subscriptions on things that we don't really need and we don't really care for. That's not being financially smart, especially if you're not in a position where you have a whole lot of cash flow. And last but not least, I saw a collective amount of Reddit users all saying the same thing, saying that they were told to not invest in crypto because it was a scam. If you think back correctly, I think back in like 2010, 2011, people were saying Bitcoin was a scam. And even in 2015 and 16, people were saying Bitcoin was a scam. I remember people back in 2018 were saying NFTs were a scam when I first heard of NFTs. What's the occurring pattern in those things that we just mentioned? Those things are all things that can get you extremely rich. And had you invested in them earlier when you probably first heard about them, instead of just thinking it's too good to be true or some stupid scam, or because you didn't see an immediate return on it, you just didn't jump the gun, then we all taking losses, we all kicking ourselves in the butt, myself included. I knew about Bitcoin, I'm not gonna say 10 years ago, but I've known about Bitcoin for at least the last 7 years, and I didn't jump the gun on it until recently, until about 5 years ago. And had I jumped the gun on it back then, when I first heard about Bitcoin, when it was like $1,000, God knows where I could be at right now. So understanding that when it comes to financial literacy and being financially responsible, you do have to take risks, but you have to take calculated risks. Don't be crazy and stupid with your money and buy things and do things that you can't afford or live above your means. There's nothing wrong with grinding, being patient, and getting out the mud. And again, stop taking advice from unqualified people. If y'all are anything like me, I know sometimes you hear stuff and you might not respond or say anything, but you be thinking like, bro, this sounds stupid, like it makes no sense. So you have to think, when people give you advice and it sounds so dumb and it makes no sense, chances are it's probably the worst advice you could possibly ever hear, and don't listen to it. So that wraps up today's video. Now, if you found this video educational, informative, or entertaining in any way, shape, or form, do me a favor. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, as well as turn on that notification bell that way you're notified anytime that I drop some content. And while you're at it, please leave a like down below. It helps the algorithm, it helps my channel continue to grow, and it pushes my content out for the more and more people. Again, turn on those post notifications, that way you're notified anytime that I drop some content. That way you know when I'm uploading these random videos and I'm going on streaks, or it's now with just like 3-4 videos in a row, whatever it is. That way you can stay up to date and in the loop with everything I got going on, and that way also I'm benefiting from it also by continuing to have my content be able to reach out to more and more people. So with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. I love those who love me. So I'm gonna catch y'all back at the next video.